So now we have the coaching agreement in place. We hopefully started with that, and we have some energy. We have the session, and we also have the goals and best hopes for our session. That was not the laser pointer, in place. So now we can actually start on this preferred future step. And we have the product pitch. And it's super important that the product owner or product manager communicate, why is this the most important product since sliced bread? Why is this going to change the world? And again, it is to instill confidence and enthusiasm into the team so they can see why this is actually super important for the business or for kids or families or whatever. But why is this super important? And that is, of course, the preferred future for our product. And if that is for the product, then what do we do next? We're going to do this scaling question, but then add another dimension to it. So if the 10 defined by the product owner, what does this 10 look like for us as a team? And that is what we are then going to spend some time on. And then what is quite interesting and gives some input to the PO is having the team now, again, just to keep them energized, try to score the product from 0 to 10. How do they see it at the moment? And then run the entire scaling question exercise from 0 to 10 on the product. And that gives some input to the product owner on what should we do more of, what is already working, any low-hanging fruits, any signs of improvement we could benefit from. And that will, for the product, then give us these first signs of progress, the forerunners, and so on. But for the defining this 10 as a team, there is no single person on the team that should do this. It should be done by the team together. So I would use a technique from Liberating Structure called Conversation Cafe to define this. And I would ask the following question. So how can you see that this team is a 10? And is it only a social thing, or is it also a technical thing? So that we are good colleagues, or do we also bring in that everything is unit tested and so on? And what the Conversation Cafe does, it gives us a structure with 3 rounds of discussion. And at least in the first 2 rounds of discussion, we'll have a virtual talking token or an actual physical ball we can pass around. And people are only allowed to talk if they have this, and I will enforce it. And I will stop discussions. So first off, people will start just to reflect in silence upon what does a 10 look like for this team. Again, brainstorming individually and in silence, writing down some notes. And when they have done that, we'll do the first round. I will pass the virtual talking token to somebody that will then share their reflections uninterrupted. And they have at most 1 minute to it, and I will time it. When they're done, they pass the ball or throw it to somebody else, and then we continue to do so until everybody has been able to say what does a 10 look like for them. Not reflecting upon or giving comments to what they've heard, just what did they think about in silence. In this way, we have catered for introverts that need time to think, and we are giving the extroverts a possibility to talk. In the second round, again, talking stick, you have up to 1 minute, and it's okay to say, I'll pass. If you don't have any comments to what you just heard, then we'll do that. So pass it around. And when everybody has had their comments, then it's in the third round, it's an open discussion. Normally it's without the talking stick, but I always have the right to introduce the talking stick again if I can see that somebody is always being cut off and not allowed to speak finishing, or I can see somebody doesn't dare to speak up, then I will try to also get them into the discussion again to make sure that they also get their voices heard. Then we'll discuss for 20 minutes or so, And when we have done these 3 rounds, we're ready to debrief these discussions. So what are the takeaways from this? And these takeaways, we then write them down, because we were discussing what would a 10 look like. So we will write them down and then try to agree on a team goal. And hopefully, or not hopefully, everybody should be heard. And if we cannot get to a point where people agree upon the team goal, then we can do some voting. So everybody writes a potential team goal and then we vote. But I would really like that we can easily, and also in the 3rd round, in the discussion round, come up with a sentence that everybody can agree upon, and only use voting as a last option, because that also gives you as a facilitator or coach some insights into maybe this team doesn't actually know how to work together yet. And if you are pressed on time, then you can end the session now, because now we have actually set the team goal. So now we know what does a 10 look like for a team and what does a 10 look like for the product. But I would really encourage you to spend the extra time for the team as well, because we should also invest in the team to start going in to these first signs of progress and the resources the team have.